Now since we have covered most of the topics, it's time to look at the purchasing reports. Let us check what are the reports available for purchasing. Go to logistics, material management, purchasing, purchase order, list displays, and choose by vendor. So we want to check the purchase orders by vendor. Okay, now we can actually choose the particular vendor for whom we want to see all the purchase orders that we have raised. I can directly key in as well. Let me just key in. Okay, scope of lease is something very important that you know about this report, because this scope of lease will determine further criteria on which other details need to be shown. For example, best will show all the purchase orders, and there's also other list of scope, but we better choose best, not to worry about other scope of list too much. We can also filter by the purchasing organization, okay, purchasing group and so forth. Okay, we have created all these purchase orders for this vendor, right? So this is what being shown here. So remember our first purchase order, we raised 10 quantity and still to be delivered is 4, because we did the MIGO good receive only for 6 units, remember. So the balance 4 unit is still to be delivered here, and still to be invoiced is actually telling that out of 10 we have received 6, but 4 is yet to be received. So in total we need to invoice 10 quantities which still not been invoiced yet. Okay, 10 is 6 plus 4, or in other words it will matches the original quantity here. So using these two fields here, we will know how many quantity is yet to be received from the vendor and how many for quantity is yet to be invoiced by the vendor. So all the 10 quantities is still not been invoiced yet, that's why it's showing 10, and the value as well. Okay, this is the value of the total quantity. 4 times 5 200, 10 times 5 500. Okay, let me try to zoom in. Choose a valid line, choose place on the purchase order, and you can zoom into the purchase order. Okay, see we can zoom into the respective purchase order from the earlier report. That is possible. We can also check the PO history. PO history, you need to choose the valid line being the purchase order line, which is this. So you need to choose this, and this shows that we have received 6 units using this material document number. WE stands for good receive. This is a material document number that we generated earlier, and we received 6 units, right, which is $300. So this is what we can see. We can zoom into the material document number if you want to. Just press the zoom button. See, this is a material document number. We have seen this earlier, remember. Alright, so using the changes button, you can see what are the changes done to the purchase order line item. Okay, let me just demonstrate this to you. I'm going to do a change to this purchase order. ME23N. I'm going to choose the purchase order, press Ctrl Y and copy this, and alright, go to change mode. Let me change, what can I change? Maybe I can change the text. Let me try to change the short text here. Changed, and I save this. Let it save. Okay, it is saved. RPL changed. Let me check if this change is effected. Let me go back. Let me retrieve again, and then I place the mouse here and check the changes. Yeah, I see this. Item short text is changed. The old value is just tire, the new value is tire A changed. Okay, and the T code and the user was changed, date, time, and so forth. This is quite useful if you want to track the changes done to the purchase order. Alright, this is the most important report where you can check all the purchase orders. Okay, using the selection parameters here, we can actually specify which are the purchase orders that you want to filter. For example, if we choose this open goods received, alright, which means that I want to check all the invoices which has got a good receipt at least once. And let me check. Yeah, it's showing that good receipt still to be delivered, but if I remove that, I get this. So the difference is, if I remove that, I can see this record here, right? And if I enter the WE01 open good receipt, I will not see that, and I'll see only these two, because the open good receipt W101 will actually show the purchase orders where the still to be delivered is greater than 0. In other words, it will show all the purchase orders for which there are some balance goods which still yet to be delivered. If the purchase order has been fully delivered, it will not show here under this parameter WE01, because it's fully been delivered. So there's no open good receipt. Okay, there's no open good receipt exists for the purchase order which is not shown in the list. This one will actually show. Okay, how do we, if I have a requirement which is not found in this list, how can I create a new selection parameter? It's quite simple. Just press F1. There's a configuration for that. Click this customizing. Continue without specifying project. Okay, selection parameters is under materials management, purchasing, reporting, selection parameters, define selection parameters. Okay, can you see this WE01? Okay, the list, exact list. Double click on it. So this is where you can configure what needs to be included into the report. Okay, as you can see here, comparison of quantity delivered with quantity ordered. A lower than sign is used, which means that if the delivered quantity is lesser than ordered quantity, please show the item. Alright, so whereas comparison of quantity delivered with quantity invoice is left empty, which means that no checking is made for this condition where whether it's quantity delivered is lower than quantity invoiced or not. The only comparison is made is here, where the quantity delivered is compared against the quantity ordered, and if the delivered quantity is lower than ordered quantity, the system will select it. So this is a setting for WE101. Now how about WE102? So as long as there is some goods delivered, see this, what this means is that as long as the delivered quantity is greater than 0, okay, so the system will select the item. So using this selection parameter, I can select all the purchase orders where at least one unit of quantity has been delivered. As long as you have made at least one single good receipt for this purchase order, it will be shown using this selection parameter, but no checking of whether the quantity delivered is lower than quantity ordered is made. As you can see, it is left empty here, right? And open good receipt, what is this for? It's the same thing as 101. I don't see any difference. Okay, so you can create as many selection parameters as you want based on your requirement. Let me show this open invoices. What is this? Using this, see, the system is comparing quantity invoice with quantity ordered. So if the invoice quantity is lower than the ordered quantity, which means that there are some balance quantity which needs to be invoiced, it will show that under the selection parameter. So using this selection parameters, you can create a new parameter if you want to. By configuring this, you can add more parameters to the existing parameters and filter the purchase orders accordingly. So I'm going to choose one more selection parameters where at least one single good receipt exists. I want to display. See, this is shown because there is at least one good receipt. As you can see here, if I go to purchase order history, 6 unit has been received, and if I go to purchase order history, purchase order history is here, 5 unit has been received. So as long as there is a single good receipt for this PO, it will be displayed. See, so that's the purpose of this selection parameter. Okay, if I choose the open invoices, so let us check how many purchase orders are still to be invoiced. See, still to be invoiced is 10, 5 and 7, so it's showing here. Alright, if I choose the other one, that means no open invoices. I want to see all the purchase orders which are fully been invoiced. Nothing will appear. Open invoices. I don't know. Let me just check what it says. No open invoices. Let me check what is the settings for this. As per the description, it should not show anything because there's no open invoices. Oh, the setting here is wrong. Nothing is selected. This description is wrong. When they say no open invoices, that means all the 3 purchase orders should not be shown, because all has got open invoices. Only when this selection parameter is to be used for to select all the purchase orders which are fully been invoiced. So we need to set the setting here as equal to let me choose equal to ordered quantity, then it will be correct. Okay, let me just save this. Let me check whether it works. No selection parameters. See, no suitable purchasing documents is found. Then it's got a real meaning now. There's no open invoices. Because all the 3 purchase orders has got some balance quantity which needs to be invoiced. So that's why it's not being selected here. So that's how you can change the functionality of the selection parameter. It's a very useful report. You can also select the purchase order by the material, because in our earlier report we cannot filter by the material, or you can still filter by the material here. Let me check. Let me clear this up. Material, let me enter tire A and execute. See, I see the purchase orders which is raised for only tire A. Okay, let me also show you how to configure the scope of list. As I told you earlier, this can be configured. Just press F1, go to customizing, continue without specifying project. You will come here, same place as scope of list. It's under material management, purchasing, reporting, maintain purchasing list, scope of list. Execute. Just check what is in the best. It says that these fields can be displayed: open quantity value, stock in transfer, quantity for account assignment, release, and so forth. So let me check this, see what information will be added to the report. Okay, see, total good received is also shown. It's a very important information, so we just keep it as it is. So by checking that field, I can get one extra information, which is total good received, which is informative enough. Okay, this percentage shows what is the percentage of goods which are delivered and so forth. So you can use that. So by material is also the same thing, nothing, no difference. You can enter the material here, tire A, so that you will see all the purchase orders which are created for tire A. Okay. By account assignment will allow you to select the purchase orders by account assignment, because if you look at a purchase order, there is one option for you to actually directly post it to cost centers using this. Okay, order cost center K. So instead of posting to GL account, you can directly post to cost center and so forth. So if you are using that functionality, you can choose this report to actually filter all the purchase orders which are using a specific cost center. Okay, and you can also filter by material group, purchase order number, transactions. Not sure what is that. Okay, these are the most important reports, and let me show you the good receive invoices that we have. Go to inventory management, goods movement, good receive, purchase order, material document, return, periodic processing. Let me check this report. List of stock values. Now this report will show the total quantity that is available, 6 unit. Okay, this is a useful report as well. Analysis of order values is under purchasing reporting here. Let me show you how you can use this. You need to enter currency based on which you want to analyze, and the vendor, or you can leave the vendor empty as well, so that all the purchase orders are analyzed. What you can do here is that you can enter, you see the net value 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can enter value here. If you don't enter value, all the purchase documents will be shown, and you can see the net value 1, 2, 3 and 4 all are defaulted to 0. Say for example you want to check. Okay, so the net value is shown here. This is a PO order value. So if I want to do an analysis of how many of these value is below a certain threshold, let's say 500, 200 and so forth. So I specify here 200 and 500 here. So I let the system to compare the net value. So net value I entered here is 200. So this one is 150 is below than 200, right? So it will count the number of PO line items which is lesser than 200 and put the total value here. So there's only one item which is found below 200, so it is mentioned as 1, and another item is found below 500, so the count of 1 is stated here in the net value 2, and another item which is below than 500 but greater than 200, is found here, so this is counted here. So when I enter 200 here, any order value which is below 200 will be counted under net value 1, and any PO line items which is greater than $200 but below 500 will be counted here. Okay, if I want to count something which is greater than 500 and below 1000, I can enter another net value here, 1000. Let me check, but nothing is shown here, because within this range you will count these two PO line items and mention it here, because when I put $1000 here, any PO line item which is greater than $500 and below $1000 will be counted here. Alright, so nothing is greater than 500, that's why it's 0 here. So using this report, you can do this kind of analysis. Please see if it's useful for you. Alright, the beauty about this report is you can also do the comparison in a different currency than the purchase order currency. We know the purchase order currency is USD, but if I enter Euro, all the purchase order currency will be converted to Euro, as you can see here, based on the exchange rate maintained in the M exchange rate type, and comparison will be done similarly. Okay, these values will be regarded as euro dollars as well. Alright, so you can use any currency you like for this matter. Okay, these are the